time he's healed enough wounds. So this, first of all, this is titled in one of those ways. Brutal. Resurfaced video of Joe Biden should destroy his campaign. It's not that brutal. It's not going to destroy his campaign. But it's fascinating. So I'll just let it play. This is the last thing, and then we're heading out.
Joseph Biden today faces a controversy. 3 weeks ago at a debate at the Iowa State Fair, he used phrases identical to those delivered by British Labour Party leader Neil Kinnock.
Biden seemed to be claiming Kinnock's vision and life as his own.
Why is it that my wife, who's sitting out there in the audience, is the first in her family to ever go to college?
Why is Gladys the first woman in her family in 1,000 generations to be able to get to university?
My ancestors who worked in the coal mines in northeast Pennsylvania don't come up after 12 hours and play football.
8 hours underground and then come up and play football.
It's because they didn't have a platform upon which to stand.
There was no platform upon which they could stand.
The notion that every thought or notion or idea you'd have to go back and find and attribute to someone, I think is, quite frankly, ludicrous.
The problem here is that Senator Biden told his audience he'd just been thinking about these things, and he failed to give any credit at all to his famous British speechwriter.
You know, I was thinking on the way over here. Now, that's a little too much, because, as you point out, what's behind the words? What's there? And a lot of people, the rap on Biden has always been that it's just a surface.
I should have said, to paraphrase Neil Kinnock, it's the only time I didn't, and all the times I've ever used it.
But CBS News found
the same guy. This guy, like, I know it's a long time in between 88 and today. This guy doesn't seem the same. Look at this picture of this guy. And you look at him, like, this picture that I have of him from 88, he just looks so ready to rock. I mean, this guy
he just kind of looks red.
Look at me. I'm red as shit. But
You're not as red as Joe Biden in that video.
Not in this picture. He gets a little extra red, but this is politics, like you were saying. He's not lying. He's not intentionally plagiarizing. He's just a politician. I do enjoy that he then kind of, like, I didn't watch this whole thing about how he tries to, like, backtrack it, but is this what derailed his campaign in 88? I know that we don't know. But yeah, Quigley Johnson in the chat, he's treating this speech like it's a high school paper. Like, hey, can you write this for me? Like, I'm really not ready. Can you just give, and then he comes up and does, they're all actors. This is proof that they're all just actors. Someone else is writing the story. Why is it that my wife, my beautiful wife, is the first one to graduate from high school? She's worked hard her entire life to become who she is, and every woman should not have to work as hard as she did for that same right. And then the crowd's like, yeah. And then you're like, cue card, cue card, cue card. My uncles worked in the coal mines, eastern Pennsylvania in the summer. It is hot, people. You've been in hot weather. This is hotter than that inside that coal mine. They'd be in there for 12 hours a day. And they'd come up and they'd play football with us. Because we're American as fuck, man. And it's like, yeah, it's super surface. I got to see what Red Biden says, though.
Tape of a second instance.
It reappeared in the New York Times with a new charge that Biden had appropriated a famous litany from the late Robert Kennedy about what the gross national product cannot measure.
It cannot measure the health of our children,
The health of our children,
the quality of our education,
the quality of their education,
the joy of their play,
or the joy of their play.
It's a 20-year-old thing he's
Biden gave
copying?
Kennedy no credit. He has also quoted or paraphrased John Kennedy, Hubert Humphrey, and British Labour Party leader Neil Kinnock, all without credit.
Joseph Biden admitted today that he committed plagiarism when he was in law school. He said it was a
In
mistake,
law school?
but that it was unintentional.
He quoted 5 pages of someone else's work without proper citation.
I've done some dumb things, and I'll do dumb things again.
He was given an F.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I've been dumb.
To the political community in Washington, it all seems of a piece.
Come on!
Plagiarism at law school, plagiarism on the stump.
The great communicator. Strike that. The great imitator.
You don't steal verbatim, or when you do, as he did 99% of the time, you give credit.
Biden's critics say he sells himself as a man whose words and visions can inspire a new generation in politics. But if the thoughts, phrases, and visions really belong to others, it's a form of false advertising.
Is it a wise idea, though, to take something that personal, anyway, from another politician and try and appropriate it to your own campaign?
I think it was a stupid thing to appropriate material that was really very personal, that was someone else's.
Most people didn't know who he was, Joe Biden, and now they're going to say, oh yeah, he's the guy who plagiarized. That's
a lot of people.
Politically, that's devastating.
These clips are devastating. He looks like a Joe Biden wind-up doll with somebody else's words coming out.
If they're going to do things that are stupid as well as immoral, then they're probably too dumb to have the job of president.
Voters are going to have to decide.
And Matt Boy Bloom in the chat, I've done dumb things will absolutely be easy. Yeah, that's on the soundboard next week for sure. I've done dumb things, and I'll do more dumb things.
Whether he was dishonest or dumb.
Senator Joseph Biden may have more explaining to do.
The new questions stem from taped remarks of Biden during an April campaign appearance in New Hampshire.
I went to law school on a full academic scholarship, the only one in my...
White privilege, motherfucker.
In my class to have a full academic scholarship. Went back to law school and, in fact, ended up in the top half of my class. I was the outstanding student in the political science department at the end of my year. I graduated with 3 degrees from undergraduate school and 165 credits, only needed 123 credits.
Biden now concedes he did not graduate in the top half of his law school
class. Oh my God, he lied about that too?
3 degrees from college, and that he was not named outstanding political science student in college.
Newsweek says Biden actually went to school on a half scholarship, ended up near the bottom of his class, and won only 1 degree, not 3.
Joe Biden ranked 76th in a class of 85 at the University of Syracuse Law School. I mean, this guy comes off this whole thing as a flyweight. Now Biden says...
As a flyweight. Dude, this is not good. I didn't watch this whole video. This needs to be viral as fuck. This is hilarious. And I don't want to hold him... Like, we can't hold him accountable, like, super accountable, at least, to what he said in 1988. However, how fucking funny is this?
Oh, it's hilarious, and I don't know. I think he's an extreme example of like a reason why we get a Donald Trump or even like a Ronald Reagan or like someone who's more traditionally an entertainer / businessman,
right,
coming into the politosphere, because all these other motherfuckers are robots. All of them. And then you have Donald Trump come in and say, we're going to put a big, fat, beautiful door right in the middle of it. Nobody else in any senatorial position or congressional position is talking like that, is saying things like that, and it gets people's attention. When you have Joe Biden, the only time the human side of him pokes through, it's the dumbest fucking thing in the universe. It's not funny. Well, it's funny, but not... You're not laughing with him. I feel like when you hear big, fat, beautiful door, it's more of a, ha, he said that.
Right.
With Biden, it's more of a, what a fucking senile old dipshit.
Well, and he's not even an old dipshit here. He's just senile. And, like, I can't believe that he would do that. Like, this is like that trans teacher that died. That died of COVID, and then the students found out she wasn't a real teacher. Like, like there was this Twitter account that pretended to be a professor at ASU, and was like supporting the trans movement and was supporting Black Lives Matter and really progressive. Well, then, according to somebody else, that person had died. Like, they had announced, hey, the teacher died of COVID. So everyone reached out to ASU like, hey, we want to send messages and blah, blah, blah to the family. We don't have any teacher who has that Twitter handle here at this university. And none of our teachers have gotten COVID. So you guys got COVID catfished. Oh, it's one of the best stories I've ever read. But I got 30 seconds left. Come on, Joe. Don't let me down.
Newsweek is right. His memory had failed him.
And I'd be delighted to sit down and compare my IQ to yours if you'd like, Frank.
Joe Biden was victimized by the truth.
Bye-bye Biden. He may not know it yet, but I think this is going to be very difficult for him to recover.
Is Joe Biden dead meat, yes or no?
I think so.
Bob?
It's in terminal condition.
Terminal? Eleanor?
Yes, unless he comes in third in Iowa.
Morton?
Dying.
I say dead. We'll be right back.
That guy rules. I say dead.
I say dead.
We'll be
His whole entire campaign is fucking dead. It's a disaster.
And this is the last time you'll ever hear of Joe Biden.